It's 12:12. I haven't gone to bed yet. It's sometimes when my head just starts thinking, it just keeps going. And I can't rest until I come to some type of conclusion that makes me feel at peace. So yesterday, or 2 days ago, I had my birth chart reading done. And I was told that I guess part of being a Gemini is this, I have a tendency, it's an air sign, so it's very much a thinker. There's creativity, a learner. And she said that I do have a tendency to get a whole, take it apart, then put it back together to see if there's a more efficient way. And I was smiling because I was just like, yeah, sometimes I do that. That's when I start overthinking, right? So that was resonating in the back of my head as I was going about my day. Then today at work, we happened to have another presentation, or the second part of that other presentation from my colleague. And about a vision and wellness vision. And in our small groups, the individual that I was working with, we were talking about how some of the goals we were setting were really to create a sense of balance with work and home life. And then as we were talking, I started thinking, well, work-life balance, that's usually the topics that are used, the labels that are used. But if we look at life, we can't really balance work-life like that, because work is work, but life, there's so many factors, there's so many elements, there's children, there's parents, there's illnesses, right? And if we're trying to find a balance within, we still have to separate life to where it's me. So I ended up drawing a triangle where work was on one end, life was on the other, and then it's me, right? I don't know if you guys can see that. So if we're still trying to find a balance within, we still have to break that apart even more. So just the triangle kept popping up. I mean, if you really want to look at how crazy I can start like doodling, I just start like questioning and so many triangles, right? And it just reminded me of these other triangles that just kind of kept resonating with me. All of the zodiac signs, right? The way the messages are relayed, they group up the signs together. And then when I was looking at these signs, right, I came across the one that kind of talked about the 5 elements, the unity and balance, and then this one that I had not seen before, which was spirit. So this sign, right, it's resembling like the sign of Dave, the Star of David. It's also seen in Kabbalah. I mean, yeah. So then when I started seeing this one, well, I mean, I had this thought, right? And I shared it before about how we can potentially transform ourselves to hold all of the elements or features from all the different elements, right? You know, they say, oh, you're a Libra, oh, so you're like this, blah, blah, blah. Or you're a Gemini, you tend to be like this. Or, you know, you're a Pisces, you tend to be like this. And it's, again, this sense of separation based on traits or what did she call it? She said qualities. But in essence, there's still things that separate us. And then we get into this fixed idea of, oh, I can't be with such and such because that such and such is a Cancer. We won't mix well. So then when I was looking at this unity balance, right, I had, it's like all of these signs overlapping each other. They each resonate with this different element of a different element, right? There's fire, there's earth, there's water, there's air. And I started thinking, so then when I saw this unity balance, apparently it's also called ether, aether, A-E-T-H-E-R. I don't know if you guys can see that. And so I looked that up, and then it said it's an alchemical symbol, which involves a seemingly magical process of transformation, creation, or combination. Magical process of transforming or combining elements into something new. Which is interesting because when I saw that star, I immediately thought of those, you know, those wind thingies in Palm Springs, when you drive into Palm Springs, and they generate energy by just turning, right? They turn with the wind because it's usually pretty windy there. And so this motion, and I think they're just like two pieces, but because the wind is moving them, it's generating like this circular energy type of flow, right? And so it creates energy. All of these elements in some type of motion, right, can create energy. Air turns it around. Water, we've learned to generate energy through water, pushing through, like, again, I think it's like those whatever propeller thingies. Fire can generate energy when you burn something like coal. Earth is full of energy at the core. I mean, it's like energy all over. So the sense of spirit for me was just like the end result. Spirit is energy. There was this other ether sign that looked a little bit different than the star, that looked like a wheel. It actually looked like a wheel. So I just kind of kept looking at the different elements overlapping each other, starting to turn like a wheel. And if, you know, when something goes into motion so quickly, you don't really see the different pieces of it. You just see the circular motion like a wheel, right? You see a bicycle in motion, those lines in between start getting blurry. It's just, you know, or like that wind thingy in Palm Springs, where you don't realize, unless it's stopped, you don't realize that it's just two little propeller thingies that are just going really fast, that it looks like it's like a windmill or something with more, like you don't stop to see the pieces of it. You just see it in motion, which makes it look like this circle. So then I started reading Brief Answers to the Big Questions by Stephen Hawkings. And it was interesting because he starts talking about black holes. To make a black hole spin requires energy. A black hole, they explained, can use its spin energy to create particles, and the particles will fly away carrying the spin energy with them, which makes sense. When an object has energy of motion, nature usually finds a way to extract it, right? When we're talking about energy. Then he made a statement, when we see the Earth from space, we see ourselves as a whole. We see the unity and not the divisions. It is such a simple image with a compelling message. One planet, one human race. And then he goes out to say, the main reason that he wanted to write a popular book about the universe was that he wanted to explain how far he felt we had come in our understanding of the universe, how we might be near finding a complete theory that would describe the universe and everything in it. Now, I haven't read the whole book, which I'm sure I'll probably have more responses to, but the parts I've read, he's answering the big questions. And I think this is part of the introduction where he puts, but there are other challenges. He put, one day I hope we will know the answer to all these questions, but there are other challenges, other big questions on the planet which must be answered, and these will also need a new generation who are interested and engaged and have an understanding of science. How will we feed an ever-growing population, provide clean water, generate renewable energy, prevent and cure disease, and slow down global climate change? I hope that science and technology will provide the answers to these questions, but it will take people, human beings with knowledge and understanding, to implement these solutions. And so as I was reading some of the introduction, right, I had to write down notes. One, because I don't know a lot of this stuff. I had to write down, okay, what exactly is radiation energy? What is the causal structure theory? What is singularity theorems? What is general relativity? What is quantum theory? Just these concepts that I wasn't too familiar with, that I heard of, right? Quantum physics, I heard in Ant-Man, the movie Ant-Man. Or when we talk about the black hole, I think of Interstellar, right? These amazing movies that, again, I love sci-fi. So it's funny because when we take a step back, we don't realize that the answer is already there. The answer is found within, like MJ said. I looked up research for energy, right? Research articles. There's energy studies in social science, energy technology, and policy change, energy resources, energy transitions, solar energy. There was overcoming energy poverty. I mean, so many different ways that people are trying to define energy. And I'm thinking, right? I'm reflecting in the past as I was reading Stephen Hawking's book. The first part, introduction, he's kind of recapping, where he's come from, where he's been, what he's learned. And then I watched a video that was shared with me about grounding. And I've included the link the earthing movement, And I've included the YouTube link below too, about the importance of grounding and reconnecting, right, to earth, the benefits of that. And still thinking about Stephen Hawking's question of how we might be near finding a complete theory that would describe the universe and everything in it. I was being purposeful in my thoughts and purposeful in my movements, and just what we know. There's so many separate entities with a wealth of information, a wealth of research, a wealth of studies, answers, a wealth of answers that already exist. And what's missing is this interconnectedness of everything that we have studied in our separate groups. And there's some that interconnect, right? But imagine what it would look like if all of these groups of studies connected, communicated, shared information. We have the answers to everything. The answers are found within. We have the answers to everything. And if you look at all of those concepts, right? What I was able to understand about general relativity and quantum theory, it's this continued theme, this continued pattern of transformation. Some type of natural object or concept transforming into something else. Whether it's on its own because of time, because of another factor impacting it, or another element, right? We look at the oxidation process, and a metal that you leave outside in nature with rain will rust. Even within us, biology, the creation of us, right? We start off with one cell that divides and splits and keeps splitting, right? To create this wholeness. And then with time, we're transforming from the smallest piece of our existence. We transform as we get older. Time, right? The impact of time. The stars, the black holes, the stars that collapse within themselves. Transformation. Even when we die, the light within us, the energy that radiates from us, right? Because we have a sense of energy. If you look at the movie, there's, I already talked about energy in general, but the movie really quantifies it, right? Quantifies it. You're able to measure it in a different way. We have the answers. We just need to communicate and realize and accept that we're all interconnected. And in order for us to be able to solve those supposed big life questions that we already have the answers to, we just have to communicate and trust each other. Trust the process of evolution. Trust the process of transformation. Why are we holding back information that can benefit someone else, right? In mental health, it's still operating under this, what is it? Not a recovery, like a sick mentality almost, right? Like it's just sad. It's just really sad that we have the answers. We have the answers. It's just this mentality of me above everyone else. Being ahead of the race. We're all leading. We're all trying to get there. And it feels like we're just taking longer to get there because we refuse to, or resist, or are in denial of believing that we're interconnected, that we impact each other with what we say, what we do, how we think, how we view life. A complete theory. How we might be near finding a complete theory that would describe the universe and everything in it. The theory of transformation, the theory of alchemy. Alchemy, I looked it up. The medieval forerunner of chemistry based on the supposed transformation of matter. It was concerned particularly with attempts to convert base metals into gold or to find a universal elixir. Similar concepts: chemistry, magic, sorcery, witchcraft, enchantment. Then another definition was what I read earlier: a seemingly magical process of transformation, creation, or combination. What if we just redefine alchemy? It's a label, it's a construct. If we redefine alchemy and simplify it to just the process of transformation, the theory of transformation, we see that everywhere, from the smallest thing to the grandest universe concepts. And I know theories have to like prove themselves over and over again. Well, individually, it's all already been proven, right? And triangles. Triangles. I was thinking about bridges. Architecture uses a lot of triangles. For stability, right? Versus a flat bridge, like if you were just to put, just a flat bridge with two parts and nothing in the middle, depending on how much weight you put onto it, it'll cave in. But if you use triangles as the base, it talked about, the pressure being distributed in a different way, where it was able to hold on to more weight. And I put a link, I found a friendly link to understand that concept a little bit more. I'm over here thinking triangles were like a bad thing, right? Being triangulated, being caught in, different types of meddling or just different types of triangles. Work, right? Where I prioritize my work in a relationship. But it's changing how I'm viewing threes, triangles. Certain zodiac signs that I'm listening to resonate with me, and it's like one of each element. So an earth sign that I'm resonating is Taurus, but I mentioned that I'm a cusper, Gemini Taurus, and that I was trying to let go and release a lot of what doesn't serve me anymore. And I was trying to embrace more of the groundedness of a Taurus. And then a Leo, I resonate a lot with Leo, just a fire sign. Then of course there's my air sign. Water, a water sign. Water symbolizes emotion, right? Tapping into that, opening up that heart chakra. You're now more emotional. I mean, we're able to transform ourselves in different ways. Not just from a practical standpoint of things that you can see, but just energetically. I mean, people change all the time. Behaviors, beliefs. The theory of transformation, the theory of change. Why do we make it so complicated, right? Why do we make it so complicated? We just need to slow down and simplify our lives. All of these different groups of thought, of theories, it's all so complicated. And the common theme is just transformation. The common theme is transformation. The answer is always found within, right? Sometimes we tend to make mountains out of small hills. In Miss Pima's book, she talks of samsara, which is a Sanskrit word referring to the vicious cycle we're all trapped in because we continually resist reality. To move past this requires venturing out into the learning zone. An alchemist never wastes energy. Even the negative is energy. Stephen Hawkings identified negative energy, talked about negative energy. Even that is energy. And if everything is balanced, if there's negative energy, then there's positive energy. All these constructs that we put make things so much more complicated. I found this quote from Maria Shriver. Arnold Schwarzenegger's, I think they're still married, right? His wife, maybe ex, I don't know. But this was part of the California Governor and First Ladies Conference on Women and Family. So this was like a while ago. But I kept this little booklet because I like the quotes in there. I don't know where the booklet is, but I cut out the paper. But it says, the things one values most in life are the things you have to fight for and struggle for. Do not fear the struggle. Embrace it. Work through it. Honor it and yourself. Make time in your life to listen to your own voice. Do not let it get drowned out by others. Your voice is yours and yours alone. Stay in touch with it and use it. Think of yourself as an architect of change. If you do, you will be one. Then pass it on. I really like that quote. Architect of change, and then pass it on. All of these people have been architects of change, right? Nuggets of information. I mean, even astrology, birth chart readings. Wonder who came up with those. Astrology, zodiac signs. I mean, these are myths. People were onto something back then. Energy. Energy. We need to stay grounded, be present, and expand into what we're supposed to do. It's okay to slow down and simplify our lives. We've done the complicated work. The literature is there. The work is there. The research is there. Let's simplify it. Let's own it. As a united front, as a collective. Let's just own it. Let's get past our ego and work together. It's that simple. It's simple and it's hard. The hard part is that in order for us to work together, we have to do our own healing, right? We have to be okay with ourselves first. It starts within us. The answer is found within. Resolving whatever separateness we feel within ourselves. So only then will we be able to connect with each other and interact with each other in a positive way, you know? How do we want new relationships to look like? Something to think about. Okay. It's 12:45. I think it's time for me to go to bed.